Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica, aka Little Miss Skin Expert. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I created this look using only one product line, and it is Drugstore brand. So without further ado, let's get started. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Product line products, makeup products. So without further ado, let's get started and start testing things out. This morning I had taken my son to go play out in the snow, so just some of the things that we did today just kind of delayed me a bit. So the product line that we decided to play with today is L'Oreal's, and so I went ahead and I had some of their products, but I didn't have like a whole lot of stuff to play with, and so I had to pick up a few things just to kind of create a look, and also I was curious about some of the stuff that was available. So the first thing that I picked up was this is the Glow Lock Illuminating Primer by L'Oreal. So I have never used this and I'm curious about it. It seemed like they had some water binding agents in there. It even has some vitamin E in there, so there's a lot of hydrating ingredients that I am very interested in using and seeing how it does on my skin. So let's do it. There were two options with this primer. There was a mattifying one and then there was this illuminating one, and because I like illuminators, I thought this would be a fun thing to pick up and try. So it is more of a lotiony consistency versus like a chalky consistency. So for those of you who might suffer from oily skin or blemish prone, I would probably go with the matte. Although I didn't look at the ingredients, but I definitely wouldn't use anything like this because this is a little bit hydrating. So right now my skin needs it. So as you can tell with the primer, it does leave a little bit of illumination on the skin. So far so good. So we'll just have to wait and see. All right, so I do have the True Match foundation. You guys know I like this foundation because it does have SPF in it. I like the fact that it has a lot of options for different skin tones. And the only thing I would say I don't like is, of course, it doesn't come in a pump. So I prefer a pump. I don't like doing all this because I think that can cause, especially if your hands are not clean, cross-contamination in the product. So I'm going to use my Buffed Base brush by Nancy. Of course, you guys all know I love this brush because I feel like it does give like really good coverage in the skin, and it helps to really blend in the foundation into your skin without leaving like streaks, and it doesn't tug at the skin, which I really like too. Nobody likes a scratchy brush, you know. So I'm just going in, and that was, as you saw, what I had put on my finger. I just applied it all over my face. I think I'll put some on my ears too, just so everything looks even. I like to bring my foundation also downward here. This is a little bit darker than my skin tone, but then as it oxidizes, it actually, with my oils, it actually looks like a perfect match, which is always the case with foundations for me. I'm going to really go in with any other additional foundation. I'm going to leave as is. I think that's enough coverage for me. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Glow Amore Glow Boosting Drops, and this is in the shade Daybreak. So there's only two options. There's a gold and then there's this one. The gold is really gold. So for deeper skin tones, I think they would like that a little bit better. Whereas somebody like me, who is more on the fairer side, I think this is a better option. I really think they should create more, you know? So I'm just going to add this to my skin, and I am going to use a damp beauty sponge. This is also by Nancy. And I have wet the sponge. What this will allow the product to do is push down and be a little bit more pillow-like on the skin, because supposedly water and oil repel, so the product is supposedly going to adhere to the skin and be more attracted to the foundation than on the sponge. That's in theory. That's the science of it. Now with illuminators, you can either add it to the foundation, or you could just apply it over the foundation, which is what I did here. And like in certain areas that you're trying to avoid looking greasy, you could avoid the forehead, which is what I did here. I put it here because I'm going to powder it down, and here. So really, like if you're just trying to make yourself look a little bit more glowy and you have a tendency to be a little bit more oily, I would probably just stick to this area of your face. Okay, so this is the first time ever using the True Match concealer. I didn't pick it up ever because I just didn't like that it wasn't light enough for me, and this is the lightest shade available. If I could get it open. I like a couple of like options with concealers. I like that, like, you know, a color like this mixed with a lighter shade, one shade lighter than my own complexion. But this is all they had, so I'm hoping this concealer works okay. I'm probably going to use this as well on my lids to help set the and cover some of the veins I've got going on in my eyelids. You know, I've always loved the True Match foundation. I love the coverage it gives because I can still see my skin, so I'm not like looking for that full coverage, but I feel that it is a buildable foundation too. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set the foundation with their powder. I didn't pick up a translucent loose powder by them. I have used their translucent powder before, but as I recall, when I used it, I didn't like it because it had fragrance in it. So I didn't really check to see if it had fragrance in the formula that they have on the market right now. So I couldn't tell you, but I just figured I didn't need it. I'm just going to turn you guys just a little bit so you guys can see. I am using the Brow Stylist Definer, also by L'Oreal. This is in the shade Light Brunette. I do have brunette, which I like as well when I want more of a bolder looking brow. When I'm looking a little bit more for like a natural brow, I will use this one. Or if I'm trying to be a little more creative, what I'll do is I'll use this one in the front here, and then I'll sweep out the darker shade towards the tail of this brow. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew I was using L'Oreal's products only, you know. So, okay, so I picked this up. This is the Lumi Bronze It Sun Kiss Bronzer for face and body. So, I'm curious about this. I got the shade medium because I think it comes in light, medium, and deep. And I thought the deep was maybe a little too deep, so that's what it looks like. And it has a little bit of shimmer in there. So let's see. Ooh, I've never used this. I was actually telling my husband when we went and bought this, I go, do you think I should get the powder foundation that's kind of deep, you know, and I could just use that as a bronzer? And he's like, I don't want you coming back here and then ending up like returning that. So he goes, get what you're supposed to get. So I got this. So this is like, I don't know, $11, $12 or something like that. So that's definitely for a drugstore brand bronzer. It's a little bit on the pricier side. Some of the options that I've used drugstore wise for bronzers are by Rimmel. I like that one. And what else have I used? The Physicians Formula, the Maru bronzer. I like the shade. I don't like that it has fragrance. So this guy doesn't have any apparent fragrance in it. So far, so good. It's a little bit on the warmer side, whereas like some bronzers I tend to be more attracted to are ones that are a little bit more on the taupier side, like a cool tone brown. So, but I mean, it's a nice bronzer so far. I like how it's blending out. I'm going to actually use this as well to contour my nose. I actually haven't been contouring my nose lately. I just haven't been... I have not been motivated to do my makeup lately. The weather, you know, I miss my family. I miss my mom, and I've just been feeling kind of down. You know, the weather here has just been so weird. And, you know, my husband's been working a lot more, so that's been like really hard too, because we don't really get to spend a lot of time together. So I am just feeling kind of like I'm by myself out here sometimes. So anyhow, you know, we're getting through it. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out. If you guys haven't checked this brush out, you guys should. This is the Luxie JD Weighty 180 brush, and it's the number 182 brush. I did pick up an eyeshadow, a couple of eyeshadows from L'Oreal, so I'm gonna have to put this down. This is the powder by RCMA. It's a no shade, no color powder. No color powder. It looks like this. It almost looks like cornstarch. Or maybe cornstarch doesn't look as white, but I just want to make sure, like, if there's any fallout, it'll be easier for me to just sweep it off. Okay, so I have never used these before, but I picked these up. These are the 24-hour Infallible eyeshadows. I got the shades Smoldering Plum and Liquid Diamond. I think we're going to try this one because I think if I'm only going to use one shade, I think I want to just use the gray. Oh, that's cool. So it has a little thing right here, and it says do not discard, and it's pressed inside. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, let's see how we use this. I'll try it with the brush, and then I'll try it with my finger. Two different brushes. So like this one is going to pick up less product and help you build, whereas this one is going to pick up a little bit more than maybe what you want. But I'm going to try it with this one first. Okay, you got a little bit on there. Huh, not bad. I'm curious to see how this does for the next few hours, because you know, the one thing that I have had a hard time finding with drugstore eyeshadows is they crease, they fade, or they don't have like a lot of pigment in there. So, but this one looks not bad. Okay, I'm just gonna try now this brush to see how it does with this brush, just in the crease. Yeah, see how that just like piled on too much? You want to use something like this, I think, better. Just because you can gradually help, you know, build the color. This just put on way too much. But let's try the finger now. Finger method. Ooh, it's creamy. Wow. It almost feels like it's wet a little bit. Almost similar to the ColourPop eyeshadows. I like that. I think I'm gonna have to do that to this side. Wow. So that's what it's looking like. Not too much fallout either. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it all over my entire lid and underneath my eye too. Huh. I'm very impressed. Okay, I also picked up this felt tip liquid eyeliner, Liner Intense by L'Oreal. I have never used this, so I actually needed a liquid liner anyway, so I really hope this is a good one. We'll find out. I have my receipt. But, okay. Let me just open it up and let's take a look. Oh, yeah. The felt tip's a little flimsy in comparison to like the Tarte Double Take eyeliner, but let's see. I think that would be my only complaint so far, is that the felt tip is a little flimsy, so it is hard to use. So because of that, I'm gonna use a brush to fix that. It's not like the blackest black, but it's black. But I also had to use my brush, so it did take a little bit of the product away. But it's not a bad liquid liner. I always have a hard time with liquid liners too. I mean, just lining my eyes in general is really difficult. Does the liner work? Yes. What I don't like is that it's a little bit on the watery side, and that it's not like the blackest black. But there, I mean, I picked Carbon Black, which should be like pretty dark, but oh well. It does the job. I went ahead and I picked up a blush. I picked up the True Match Super Blendable Blush, and you guys know I'm a huge fan of MAC's blushes. I'm a fan of NYX blushes. I'm a fan of Maybelline's Fit Me blushes, and I don't know about theirs. So when I opened up the package, it's pretty powdery, so let me just see if the color payoff is there. Oh yeah, it's there. And I picked up the shade Baby Blossom. So it almost is like a pinky peachy shade, which I think would be nice, you know, for the springtime and summertime. So, I mean, if I'm going to buy a blush, I want it to work and I want it to work well on my skin tone. So there were some options there that I liked. But this one just seemed like something that I can wear like more than just like a few times. So just blending it into the skin like that. I went ahead and I curled my lashes just a little bit, and I purchased the Voluminous Lash Paradise. I hear a lot of good things about this mascara, but I've never used it. So we're gonna open it. There. I'm just going to read to you our first mascara for voluptuous volume and lush length with ultra sensorial application to fulfill your lash desires. So soft wavy brush, more than 200 bristles, hold maximum formula for a dramatic volumizing charge to catch every lash. Smooth glide formula provides silky volume in one coat. It's removes easily with soap and water, ophthalmologist, allergy tested, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to do. 91% saw intense and volumized lashes, 98% lengthening effect, and 87% saw more beautiful lashes. So that's what it claims. And we want to talk about that because my whole thing is, you know, are you living up to your label advertisement? Because if you're not, then don't put that crap on there. Put exactly what it really does. Don't exaggerate on it. And you know, everybody's lashes are going to be different. The hairs are different. So far so good. Oh, definitely lifted my lashes. Well, I do like the mascara. I really don't have anything bad to say. I didn't have any clumps or experienced any clumps. It does feel, it looks thicker and definitely longer in this area right here on my lower lash line. So that's good because I don't have much length in that area. But you know, I'm curious to see if it will be something that will cause me any eye sensitivity because I have very sensitive eyes. And so that's important to me to see that something performs well and it also is compassionate towards the orbital area. All right, so I picked up one lip product. I picked up the Infallible paints for the lips. This is in the shade Spicy Blush. I just thought this would be a good, like, just everyday color. So it comes with a wand like this. I have never used it, so here goes. Huh. Well, that completes my one product line drugstore tutorial, all L'Oreal products. So, you know what I'm going to do is later on, I'm going to check in with you guys just to let you guys know how long this lasted, if there was any fading issues, did I have any sensitivity issues, just so that way you guys can get a better idea as to how these products perform, because sometimes drugstores win out a prestige brand, you know what I'm saying? I would absolutely love to know if any of you guys out there have used any of these products and what your opinion is on them. You know, sound off below in the comment section so I know, because I'd love to hear some feedback from you. Let's talk about this primer. So what I liked about it was that it had a little bit of a sheen to it, and so that, I mean, it really applied very easily on the skin. So for those of you who are on the drier side, this is a nice one. It hydrates the skin pretty nicely. Like any primers, there are primers that are designed for your skin condition, skin type. So, you know, keep that in mind. But this one definitely has my interest. So I'm going to keep using this, and yeah, I like it. The next thing I want to talk about is this foundation. As you guys know, I've used this in the past and I really love it. I love the coverage. I love that it has SPF in it. I love the how easy it is to use. And so the only drawback I would say that I don't like about this foundation is that it just doesn't come in a pump. It's like, just put it in a pump. So that way you're not cross-contaminating the foundation with like your bacteria in your fingers. So you definitely want to use clean hands. As you guys know, I love these glow boosting drops. They are amazing. I love that it does give that glow on the skin. If you're somebody who's on the fairer side, this is definitely worth looking at. It comes, you know, with a dropper, so you could just drop it on the skin, or you can add it to your foundation if you want. But it's definitely one that I like. I just wish that they made more shades. So if they had a little bit, like one that's a little bit more on the champagne-y side, but you know, I mean, I'm not complaining. I still like this one. Next thing I want to talk about is the bronzer. Gosh, this thing is massive, which I actually like that because like I feel like you get your brush in there pretty well and then like apply it to the skin. I like the shade that I picked, and I like that it has a little bit of illuminating like sparkle in there. It's not that you really can't tell, but like I like that it adds that, so it's not just like a very, very matte bronzer. So it just kind of will be, I think it'll be nice actually for the summertime when you're wanting that glow from within to come out. So the next thing I want to talk about is the blush. I have not used their blushes before, so to pick this one up was actually, I'm glad I picked this color. This is the shade again in Baby Blossom, and I just liked how easy it was to apply. You know, it didn't have a lot of pigment, so you're not like just, you know, packing on too much color all at once, so you can build it up especially, so that's good. But yeah, I have nothing bad to say about this. I definitely like this. All right, the pressed powder. I love it. I have nothing bad to say about the pressed powder. I love that it doesn't change the foundation shade at all. I love that it sets the foundation nicely. Love it. I was greatly surprised about the concealer because, you know, drugstore brand concealers, I don't ever know. Like, I've had bad experiences with them. So I always use prestige brands, but this one's a good one. Just wish they had lighter shade options. I wish they had a lighter shade than this one. This is the lightest one that I saw. So that would be the only thing I wish, L'Oreal. But I love it. I was pleasantly surprised with this shadow. I mean, look at it. It really does brighten the eye area. And it was just like fun. I wish that they had some matte options, but you know, I thought this was just awesome. If you're looking for just like one shadow options, this is definitely worth considering. And no creasing. And I like the shade that I picked up. So nothing bad to report. So the liner, the felt tip liner, I like the felt tip. I didn't like that it was too flimsy. I didn't like that it was a little watery. I didn't like that it wasn't as black as I have used in the past with other brands. So I'd skip this one. The mascara. This Lash Paradise Voluminous Mascara, I'm digging it. I really like it. I like that it gave my lashes some volume and lift. I also like that it gave the length here in the lower lash line. It's definitely a good one. I definitely would consider buying this one again. If you are a gloss girl, I love this. It actually reminds me of the lip vinyl by Milk Makeup, but it's just not as opaque and not as thick. But that's okay. I mean, for a drugstore brand and similar, like a dupe. I love it. And I think it's a great shade. This was the shade Spicy Blush, so I might have to pick up maybe a couple more. Sorry, hubby. I liked it. Well, that completes my video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was actually a lot of fun for me and it was kind of a challenge too, because I went in, I could only look at one designated product line and pick out what I want to try. But then, you know, in a normal situation, my thing is to cherry pick what I think I want. You guys know what I mean. But definitely sound off below. I'd love to know what you guys were interested in, what you guys liked, and what you guys are planning on picking up, because it's fun to hear what you guys have to say. See ya.